The University of Houston Energy Initiative presents the 2014-2015 Critical Issues in Energy Symposium Series, presented by Chevron. I'm Russ Capper with the Energy Maker Show, brought to you by Comcast Business, built for business. In conjunction with our partnership with UH Energy, this is an introduction to the symposium topics. This year's series of 4 topics will cover energy independence, our energy infrastructure, corporate social responsibility, and replacing our energy workforce. Each will be held at the University Center Theater. The first symposium, U.S. Energy Independence, Good for the Nation, will be held on September 30th, 2014, and will feature 3 speakers, each with a strong opinion on the subject. First, Jane Kleeb, editor of Bold, Nebraska, a political action group promising grassroots involvement in energy and climate issues, and an opponent of the Keystone XL pipeline. Secondly, Ed Hers, Managing Director for Hillhouse Resources, an independent E&P company with investments in shale plays, and an adjunct faculty member at the University of Houston. And thirdly, Edward Chow, a senior fellow in the Energy and National Security Program at CSIS, and an international energy expert with more than 30 years of oil industry experience. The debate topic, energy independence, what is it? To understand the dimensions of the debate, one has to go back more than 40 years to October 1973, the year of the Arab oil embargo. Oil, which had been $3 a barrel, quadrupled in price to $12 a barrel at the end of the embargo, which was in March of 1974. Richard Nixon, president at the time, went on television back in November of 1973 to promise the American public energy independence within 10 years. In 1973, the U.S. imported 35% of its oil. Around this time, the concept of peak oil was introduced. The idea that worldwide oil production would steadily decrease and would be harder to recover was rampant. Given the technologies available at the time, this scenario was likely. The direct effects of the embargo were dramatic, depressing the U.S. and world economies, changing the balance of power, and reshaping political alliances. The rise of OPEC initiated a dramatic and long-lasting transfer of wealth from consuming countries to the producing countries around the world with large oil reserves. With the largest known deposits of oil concentrated in OPEC member countries, in the U.S., the oil embargo launched the call for America to develop a national energy policy to achieve energy independence. As a first step in 1975, Congress passed a ban on U.S. exports of crude oil. Over the next 30 years, U.S. oil consumption and imports rose as domestic production began a steady, seemingly inexorable decline. By 2005, the U.S. was importing nearly 60% of its oil. Then in the early part of the new century, the combination of hydraulic fracturing and horizontal drilling unleashed a renaissance in oil and natural gas production that directly refuted the peak oil concept. I'm pleased now to be joined by Dr. Ramanand Krishnamurthy, the university's Chief Energy Officer and head of the University of Houston's Energy Initiative. Ramanand?
Thank you so much, Russ.
You bet.
Real pleasure being here. For this year's series of debates, we felt the topic of energy independence was the right place to begin the conversation. Now, in 2014, the U.S. is poised to become the largest producer in the world. The calls for energy independence have again been raised. With a huge reserve of inexpensive natural gas and continued growth in oil production from shale and conventional sources, it is possible for the U.S. to achieve energy independence.
But would such an achievement be good for the nation? Or could it have actually negative international trade and alliance ramifications that would outweigh any benefits? To RSVP and confirm your attendance at this important event, go to uhenergyseries.eventbrite.com, or for more information on the critical issues in energy symposia, visit the UH Energy website at uh.edu/energy.